What's up, donkeys? It's JP from the Junkies. You're checking out the Junkies YouTube page. We appreciate you supporting that. And coming up right now, it's a lot of stuff that AWadd has put together. Yes, occasionally he works. It's the best of the Junkies coming up right here on the Junkies YouTube page.
You write about this in your book, Gridiron Genius, the importance of ownership. Kind of get into that, and where do you think the missteps have been by Daniel Snyder over the years?
Well, he doesn't understand that culture and player development win. I mean, he just has no idea that culture matters. He thinks if I sign Albert Haynesworth, I draft Dwayne Haskins. He thinks it's always about a move. He thinks it's watching TV on Saturday night, watching a college game. If I get that player, I'll be a better team. That is the most critical error you could ever make. As an owner, the owner's job is to establish the culture, is to say to the head coach, look, here's the kind of football team I want to have. And it's your job to make me get there. And in 5 years, if we're not there, I'm going to have to make a change. But the culture's never changing. The culture's never changing. I mean, look, when Robert Kraft hired Belichick in 1999, everybody in the league laughed at him. He gave up a draft pick for him. And Kraft allowed Belichick to establish the culture. It's now called the Patriot Way. When we were together in Cleveland, and I write about it in Gridiron Genius, you know, Modell was anti the Brown way. I used to say to him all the time, Art, the program won't allow it. And he would say, what program are you talking about? I own this team. And he would never grasp it. So, you know, Snyder's never going to grasp it. He thinks if I hire Steve Spurrier, or if I bring Joe Gibbs back, or if I do this or do that, you know. And what he needs to do is stop having the front office control everything. I mean, Bruce Allen was never in the draft room in Oakland. Mm-hmm. He never had any involvement in player personnel in Oakland his whole time there.
I like to say hung out. Dating sounds so serious to me.
She hung out with something like that.
That's him. And she hung out with the Polish Hammer,
Yes.
and I asked her, did he have a Polish hammer?
He most certainly did have a Polish hammer.
She confirms.
But I will say I was intrigued by his overall weirdness, you know, the mohawk, the weird Jordan tattoo on his calf, that red tattoo. And so I had stalked him a little bit at some games. And then I was going to Toronto, and I worked out through a promoter that I could take these two Playboy playmates. Mm-hmm. And I knew I was going to sit right in the middle of these tall blonde girls, and I would get his attention.
Right.
Even though I probably looked like their mom. And it did get his attention, and I did get his number that night, and that is how it started. So I put in the effort. I was just very curious.
Wow.
I think I've seen you 4 or 5 times at the DC Improv.
Thanks for coming. Great club down there in the basement of the Gap. Wherever we are. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm up there and I'm like, I'm a full-grown man.
Yeah.
What the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but there's something about that spot. It is a special spot. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But
And a lot of guys who do comedy get to this point where they're like, they get like,
want to do the biggest rooms ever.
Yeah, the biggest rooms ever, or they get angry, or like, you know, like what kind of music do you want to come up to? I want to come up to like Metallica,
Like we do every morning.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, but you know what I mean? That gets people,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
you have to have the act that supports that,
Right.
Right.
You know, like, and I had a guy before me a couple times ago in D.C. He goes up to like thumping hardcore rap music,
Yeah.
and he's like, you know. He's pretty aggressive, and then the guy goes, "What do you want to come up?" I go, "Give me the Carpenters."
Yeah.
We've only just begun.
Something
He goes,
nice and mellow.
Are you serious? I go, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Only just begun. And I'm like fist bumping people slow.
Can you pin him?
Of course I can pin him. I'll shoot the half.
All right, no, yeah. Do the starting position. What's the starting position?
Okay, I didn't know you were going full WWE. Like, well, let me tell you what that midget's gonna do.
All right, do the starting position or whatever, like real wrestling.
gonna throw
Get behind.
it.
Yeah, this is getting good. What's up? Down right now.
What's up, Bert Kreischer?
All right, hold on. Let's wait. We gotta wait for the camera. All right, it's good. All right, it's good.
All right, ready? Go. All right. Yeah.
Oh, he's got him in the chokehold.
Yeah, he's
Brad's
going.
got him. He's going down.
We should be doing.
Brad's mouth. He's got him down. He's completely just owning him. And he's just completely owning him. He's on top of him. Adam can't get up. So here comes the pin. One.
We're looking for.
He just screamed, "I can't breathe."
That's just domination. Hold on. We did awful play-by-play.
That was great television. Let me tell you.
Hold up, Adam. Hold up before Brad chimes in, because I know
Adam, you just got smoked.
That was embarrassing. I thought I was going to flip him around.
Let me tell
I
you,
didn't do any of that.
You had no leverage.
the cream rises to the top, everyone. The cream rises to the top. Oh, yeah. This is where the power lies, brother. Right here in these 5-inch pythons.
So funny.
Dude, he completely owned him.
Oh,
I
so
totally
frustrating.
wrestled.
Yeah.
It's the greatest self-defense you could ever have.
You're never gonna lose those instincts.
No.
That wasn't even close.
I sprawl. I flip.
Yeah, and actually,
I shoot the half.
and you probably, if you wanted to go the MMA route, you could have put him in like a rear naked choke.
God, I would love to
You
do a
could've
midget
killed
MMA fight. Just me versus Dinklage. Right there in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. I would own him. I'm calling you out, Dinklage. Let me tell you something. I'll bring my wife down to the side. Winner gets her. I'm putting her on the line, Dinklage.
By the way, for those on radio, he's doing the whole Randy Macho Man.
Right. Played your last season here with the Redskins. It's kind of stunning to us, and it's been a slow burn, but the franchise has bottomed out to where it is right now. Maybe you could touch on that. Your sort of your year here with the Redskins, and can you believe where they are as a franchise at this point?
Well, it's not hard to understand why they are where they are right now. And I'm going to give you one little story about Jay Gruden, and this is when I lost all respect for Jay Gruden. Last game, Chicago Bears of the regular season when I was there, did my best to play hard. We were going into the playoffs, playing the Chicago Bears, winning the game. I almost tear my quad.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I hear from some of the guys on the sideline, he asked, who was that out there on the ground? He's like, they're like, it's Whitler, coach. He's like, well, let's get him up so we can get this game over with. Don't you ever. No, really. That shows that you have no respect for your players. Guys is out there putting their bodies and,
Right.
well-being on the line for you, and for you to make that comment, and I know that you made it, it's the reason that you're fired. It's the reason that your players quit on you, because you don't know how to be a people's person and how to coach and lead men. There's guys that know how to lead men, and there's guys that don't know how to lead men, and he should just be a coordinator. He's not a leader of men.
Well,
Who was your best coach during your career that was a true leader of men?
Vic Fangio, Jim Harbaugh. They really knew how to lead men, and they really knew how to teach the game of football, right? You have the coaches in the Redskins facility, like Perry Fuel and a lot of those guys. They don't know how to teach football. I know more about football than Perry Fuel and a lot of those defensive coordinators than Greg Minuski, right? I know more about the game of football in the secondary and these different things. Like, these guys are just friends of the coaches. A lot of these coaches are just hiring their friends. They're not hiring the best teachers and giving people an opportunity to come in, teach the guys, teach them why you're teaching them what they're teaching them, and then let them go on and have success on the football field. If everybody just continue to hire their friends, the NFL is going to continue to suffer like this. It's going to continue to be a disparity between the great teams and the bad teams in the NFL.